What's going on, beautiful people? The CPI came out today. We're going to cover this in this video. So if you don't want to go through a million videos and try to figure out what's going on, you got me. I'm going to break it down under 10 minutes. We're going to cover it. All I ask in return is for you to press that like button, press the subscribe button. You can follow me on all forms of social media up here at Lando Success. All of them is Lando Success. So let's get right into it. We don't need to play around. All right, so you see it say prices continue to rise in April, but gains slowed a little. Here go the live update. So basically what we expected to happen happened. You know, we knew rates would actually go up, so it's just like how bad is things, and things honestly, you know, it's bad, but it's kind of what we expected. So here's what we're going to break down in this video. Consumer prices are still climbing rapidly. Biden will head to Illinois farm to talk about boosting U.S. food production as cost rises. Americans defer on what's to blame for inflation, spending all of this money and pumping a market. Wall Street is unsteady as investors weigh a mixed inflation report. 3 things that can help investors cope with inflation. States want to cut taxes to offset inflation, but that can make the prices worse. And last but not least, the food prices rose again in April. So the first thing you see, consumer prices are still climbing rapidly. This is the years, right? And it's the percentage. The last time you had inflation this high was in the 80s. We're right here. So you haven't seen this since like 1983. And this is crazy. We're up 8.3% in April, and it's a 6.2% without food and energy. Inflation moderate on an annual basis for the first time in months in April, but the 8.3% annual consumer price index increase remained uncomfortably rapid, and closely watched index that subtract volatile food and fuel costs actually accelerated because fuel is going up. If anybody got some gas lately, I had to put $50 to fill up a Ford Fusion yesterday, and it still didn't necessarily fill it up because that's all I put in there, but it took it. So gas prices is going higher. It's a higher baseline for inflation you see, and this year compared to last year, that's that 8%. The reality that annual inflation has possibly peaked will give the White House and Fed a positive talking point and a dose of comfort. But the good news is undercut by the fact that the so-called core price measure, one that takes out grocery and gas costs, picked up 0.6% in April from the prior month, faster than its 0.3% in March. So they're saying it's like something positive to talk about. There's nothing positive because they're saying, okay, we probably have peaked. Who said we peaked? Because everything is still going up. So I don't necessarily believe that. Policymakers have a long way to go to bring price increases down to more normal and stable levels. And Wednesday report is likely to keep them focused on trying to slow inflation that is still lingering near its fastest pace in 40 years.
Oh no!
It's bad, y'all. It's definitely bad at this point.
They took my job.
That's what it feel like. So this part, they're just talking about, you know, inflation, the 8%, you know, everything went up. So it's a Biden will head to Illinois farm to talk about boosting U.S. food production as costs rise. Number one, why is he going to Illinois for a farm? And really it's just talking about, look, all right, Mr. Biden expected to discuss how Russia invasion of Ukraine is raising food prices and how U.S. farmers can help alleviate global food shortages, according to the White House. On Wednesday morning, the White House announced it will be taking several steps to encourage more production from American farmers. Among other things, the administration will offer more insurance to farmers who plant a second crop on their land during a year, help farmers gain access to technology that help them reduce the use of the fertilizer and other inputs. Basically, they're going to give farmers more money and access to more things, what they've been doing, and I agree with it, you know, help out the farmers. Food prices have skyrocketed globally, the results of the supply chain disruption, severe weather, energy costs, and Russia invasion of Ukraine. So they basically blame a little bit of everything on what's going on. So the next thing talked about, Americans defer on what's to blame for inflation. You know, people going to say, oh, we got the war, we have the pandemic, we have all of this type of stuff. Americans are nearly unanimous in their worries about inflation. there is much less agreement about what's to blame for the problem. More than 9 in 10 adults say they are at least somewhat concerned about inflation, but more than 6 in 10 say they are very concerned, according to a survey by the New York Times. Let's see the inflation blame game. You got 45% of the people is blaming C19 for the inflation. Then you got 43% supply chain disruptions, 40% corporations, 30% the American Rescue Plan, and last is the war in Ukraine. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you blame the most for inflation. I blame it for us pumping up and giving away so much money. You know, I liked it, but you can't do that. We just print up money and just keep on giving it away. They didn't say anything about that. Wall Street is unsteady as investors weigh mixed inflation report. Wall Street is literally emotional. Up, down, down, up, down, up, down. It's crazy, yo. I can't. It's too much. It's nothing to read in here. The stock market completely don't know what to do. We are crashing. We got lockdowns in China. We got stuff going on in Ukraine. We got Biden as president that don't know what the hell he's doing. We have everything, you know. So 3 things that can help investors cope with inflation. You know, show inflation is too high to ignore. The price is nearly everything. Gasoline, bread, meat, hotel room, streaming service been rising. Yeah, you know, Amazon did go up on their stuff. First thing they say is check out I-bonds. I didn't know that I-bonds, they say you get an I-bond right now for 9.62%, and that's locked in for 6 months, so that's good. Stocks can be a good hedge on inflation. Definitely can be, because the thing is, even though the stock market is going down, right, just look at this. It's going to keep on going up. So this is nothing but opportunity. You see, up, went down, boom, went down, boom, went down. Like, that's just how stock market go. So, you know, my 3 I would suggest is QQQ, SPY, and IYH to keep it simple. It must be a good time to invest in high quality bonds. I am not a bond person. I think you need to have more money to be to be more into bonds. States want to cut taxes to offset inflation, but it can make the problem worse. What are they saying right here? The efforts are blurring typical party lines when it comes to tax policy. In many cases, Democrats are joining Republicans in supporting permanently lower taxes or temporary cuts, including for high earners. But while many policies are aimed at helping Americans weather the fastest pace of inflation in 40 years, economists warns that paradoxically, I can't. Let me see. Let's see. How do you say this? Paradoxically. All right, paradoxically. So I said it just sound weird. Cutting taxes could exacerbate the very problem lawmakers are trying to address by putting more money in people's pockets. Policymakers risk further stimulation already rampant consumer demand, pushing higher prices nationally. Food prices rose again in April with increase in the cost of eggs, cereal, and other products. Prices of dairy, eggs, and cereal soared in April, pushing up overall inflation as outbreak of bird flu. The rising cost of fuel, fertilizer, labor shortages, and other factors add prices there. Price of food is going to keep on going up. The price of food rose 0.9% in April from the previous months. This is the 17th consecutive month increase. Wow, food is crazy, yo. It's definitely going up. I don't know what they really can do to stop that, to be honest. Raising food prices drive Germany inflation to a 2nd consecutive record. Yeah, man, I don't know necessarily what they're going to do with that. So basically, in conclusion, everything we expected to happen happened. They basically said prices is up. Gas price, they didn't even talk about gas prices. Gas prices is up. Food is up. To rent homes is up. Real estate is up. Everything is completely up. And the market is not reacting too bad because the news, let's see, look at this. The news is nothing we didn't expect. So it didn't hit us with just the wow factor or something. So you see some stocks. So the Dow is up, the Nasdaq is down. You got some of the big boys. You got Tesla and Apple. Facebook is down, but you still have a few companies still doing good. You know, you got Shell. You know, some gas going to be doing good. You have a lot of REITs are in the green. Yeti, Lee Auto, Smith and Wesson, Roadblocks. Yeah, so it's mixed reactions to all of it. But this really all you needed to know. I wouldn't panic. I would just keep on dollar cost averaging. That's all I want to talk to you guys for now. Stay tuned for the next video because you know I am dropping them boys non-stop. I will see you guys later. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Talk to you later.